Hello and welcome back to Fire Horizons Gaming. My name is Ben and today we're going to continue on with Suzerain. So last time out we dealt with Pater and Livia and promoted Lucian to Vice President. So today we're going to pick up where we left off here with the briefing on the women's rights situation. I was sitting in my office. I looked at the clock. 2:26 p.m. It was almost time for my appointment with Ciara on women's rights. There's a knock at the door. Ciara entered the room with folders in her hand. The door did not close behind her. Monica entered the room and stood next to Ciara. Mr. President? Anton, before we start, I just wanted to thank you for agreeing to this meeting. I've been dreaming about this ever since I volunteered at the Social League of Women. I can't believe the moment's finally here. I hope you thought this through. Real change requires carefully considered plans. We did. Ciara sat down on a chair and laid down the folder she was holding. We still have a long way to go before Soldish women are able to enjoy the same rights and privileges as men. Or even as their counterparts in Akazi and United Quintana, we've been lagging behind on this for decades, Anton. And this isn't only a moral issue. I've seen enough revolutions in this world to understand the main driver of any change. Money. She flipped a folder open and started pulling out documents. In United Quintana, law dictates that women earn the same wages as men in their respective fields. My research shows that this led to a 15.5% increase in productivity. You could say this had direct influence on superpower status. Akazi passed laws showing maternity leave rights, child daycare centers, and tax deductions for working families. In return, they experienced a 12.6% productivity boost and a flourishing economy. Both countries also have significantly lower infant mortality rates, a statistic I believe is directly linked to the improved status of women. Our administration has thus far failed to pull Soldan out of its economic recession. She leaned back in her chair. So I'm asking, why not try passing similar laws? At worst, even if they fail to improve the economy, it's still a significant step towards a significant step forward for our society. It's only logical. Monica handed me one of the documents. It had a list of bullet points on it. The two of us talked over, and these are the measures we believe are most urgently needed. Let my eyes wander down the list. Criminalizing domestic violence. I shouldn't have to tell you how crucial this is. It is utterly unbelievable that in this day and age, Soldish men are legally allowed to beat their wives. I mean, what families do in their own homes is none of our concern. Such a dick answer. Monica and Ciara both look disgusted. With all due respect, Mr. President, it is. By staying lenient on this, we are essentially telling Soldish women that the state doesn't care about them. As incidences are especially high within Bluish communities, I would also advocate for setting up special domestic violence task force in collaboration with Bluish women's rights organizations. Monica looked at her strangely. Are you sure that's something we ought to focus on? The Bluids are different. They have their own rules. Good. Countering my creepy sexism with some creepy racism. Monica, I'm surprised at you. Can't let women suffer under the patriarchy, no matter what their ethnicity. Interfering in Bluish matters has landed us in enough trouble already. We can discuss the particulars once the law is passed. Support working mothers. Ciara nodded. It simply isn't fair that women in the workforce are punished for having children. Remember what I told you about Janice, my friend who basically got fired for becoming pregnant? That would never happen to a man. I mean, obviously, technically. Paid maternity leave in state-subsidized daycare centers could be key to keeping more mothers employed. Monica, you always said you never regretted giving up a career to raise Frank and Diana. Anton, I never had a choice. Moving on. Nice. Equal treatment in the workforce. And that's an easy one. Right now, Soldan has one of the continent's largest pay gaps between men and women. We need legislation showing that a woman doing the same job as a man is paid the same wage. We would also like to introduce quotas to get more women into positions of power in the assembly, for instance, or on the boards of corporations. Eventually, narrowing the pay gap is a far more pressing issue as it will bring financial independence to countless lower-income women. Now, Ciara, we never talk about this, but I always thought that with more women in power, higher status for all women would naturally follow. Women are starving because they don't make a living wage. That's a damn sight more important than your friend Janice being passed over for promotion. Yeah, quotas are a terrible idea. People should be hired on merit, not simply because of their sex. Monica and Ciara looked at me strangely. Men are hired on the basis of their sex all the time, just not consciously. There are more than enough qualified women to fill any position you can think of. It's up to us to give them more opportunity. Alright, gender equality and public education. Ciara grinned. You know how much this means to me, and you've witnessed the dangers firsthand. The way girls are shut out of a real education unless the parents have means to get them out of the public school system. So many bright minds being lost. I wouldn't entirely demean the old system, Ciara. Diana still loves her handicrafts classes. Not saying we'll take this away. Maybe boys should learn handicrafts too. Monica burst out laughing. Imagine Frank in an apron. You can't force schools what to teach to whom. We can, if not doing so puts us on the wrong side of history. I still believe you made a mistake with the creationism decision. Let's move on for now. That covers all subjects. What are your thoughts so far? It feels too much like you're comparing Sorland to other nations. We must choose our own path. I agree completely. We must aim to be better than them, better than all the superpowers. None of them have yet managed to achieve true parity among the sexes. If we can do that, we'll make history. Let's talk about how to proceed. I want to establish a commission for women's rights in Sorland with me as its head. Our goal should be passing and implementing a set of laws to solve the problems we just discussed. As the commission's spokeswoman, my responsibility would make speeches and organize fundraisers. I'll be the face of this movement. We'll see how I handle the groundwork. If I can show the First Lady's bias movement, many women will feel encouraged. Sarah gestured down at her outfit. Especially those who aren't keen on pantsuits. The organization's name will be the Commission on the Status of Women. It's gonna be pretty damn hard getting your laws past the assembly. Ciara leaned toward me. Well, Mia would kill me for saying this, but this is one case where using a decree powers would be fully justified. Hey, look who's suddenly off her moral high horse. If it's for the greater good, I have no problem bypassing the assembly. Mr. President, I know we've had a friction in the past, but this has nothing to do with your decisions on creationism. This is a completely separate topic, and it should be handled as such. You have the chance to be a hero. Think about Diana and her future. I hope you make the right decision. They rose from their seats expectantly. I took a few minutes to think. Okay, so I'm supposed to... be on their side. But it has to go through the assembly. I'm on your side, but I want to go through the assembly. Can't risk a backlash this close to the election. You're making a mistake by not pushing this through right away, but I'm happy for your support. Monica turned to her. This is all the excitement you can muster? We did it. We did it. Monica hugged Ciara. She smiled uncomfortably. It's not over yet, Monica. The true battle is in the assembly. We will celebrate once it is done. I'll start gathering names for the commission tonight. Ciara started collecting her documents. She and Monica headed towards the door. Monica paused before leaving. I love you, Anton. I'll see you at home. I could hear Monica and Ciara talking excitedly to each other as the door closed behind them. I looked at my window over the city of Holsthorpe. It was a clear day outside. Brilliant. Alright. Let's see. I don't see any reports. So what's going on over here? Codex. Like Monica got updated. Saying that she's the spokeswoman for the Commission for Women's Rights, which we obviously know. Alright, and in the journal... Yeah, just Women's Rights Commission established, and Monica's the spokesperson. Coolio. Nothing new or interesting there. Okay. Let's see. Swordish League of Women donation. The most influential women's rights NGO, the Swordish League of Women, is organizing a massive fundraising campaign to raise awareness to Swordish society and has reached out to us personally for private donations. Okay, I don't think I'm supposed to donate, but let me double check here. Alright, so I don't see anything in the guide about this, but I'm not going to donate. It seems unnecessary at the moment. So, let's head to Vezord then, I guess. Mediation of a dispute in Gendarmerie. I arrived in the city of Vezord with my new Vice President Lucien after receiving an emergency meeting request from Yosef and Lilius. I had seen the reports of a recent issue that rose between the Swordish police forces and the Gendarmerie units of the city. The report said that an operation against a drug trafficking gang in Vezord failed due to miscommunication. It was not hard to guess what this meeting was going to be about. We entered the city hall and made our way to the second floor. I could hear Yosef and Lilius' voices echoing through the hall. I opened the doors to the meeting room. The two ministers didn't even realize.
This is unacceptable. How dare the police meddle in the affairs of Gendarmerie?
It was your men who saw this ridiculousness and meddled with an ongoing police investigation. Their voices were getting louder and louder.
We're all scared it's my jurisdiction. Your men are way outside of us all. Mr. Lancia, Miss Graf, please remain calm. What is the problem? Mr. Vice President, apologies, but Miss Graf here fails to understand her place.
No, Mr. Lancia, you are the one who does not understand his place. If you continue to do so, you'll pay for it one day. That's enough. Calm down, both ears. I'm trying really hard to stay calm, Mr. President. I don't think you are, you old bag.
Miss Graf, you're pushing the boundaries.
Yosef, let's hear your side of the story.
The Lieutenant General of the Gendarmerie was tracking a drug trafficking ring in the countryside vessel. He immediately acted on it. Just when we were about to raid their hideout with live weapons, police units arrived on the scene and loaded with criminals. As a result, they got away.
So the police meddled and caused the raid to fail.
Exactly. Now those criminals are free because of it.
Big words after you allowed them to escape. I started tapping on the table with my fingers. How do we solve this issue so it never happens again? I think this was the last drop. Internal security match should be handed to the Ministry of Interior completely. We are called the Ministry of Interior for a reason. We can't let any more screw-ups like this happen again. She looked at me. I want the Gendarmerie to be transferred to the Ministry of Interior.
What? Woman, are you out of your mind?
Yosef turned red with anger. He composed himself after a moment.
Looking at it from the perspective of improving our internal security, I agree with Miss Graf. We would reap the benefits in the long run. Look, Mr. Claude, I know you knew of this, and there's much that you are not briefed about, but... Mr. Lancia, you're forgetting who I am. Ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. What hand of a Gendarmerie to her? Out of the question.
I agree. Gendarmerie's been part of the Ministry of Defense for years.
Besides assisting our internal security, in time of war, the Gendarmerie is a strong asset to defend our country.
No matter what, we need to eliminate this grey area and modernize our internal security.
Now I see what's going on here. Lilius set us up to create this incident.
Lilius bitter lips. What proof do you have?
There is no way the police have arrived at the right time of a month-long search on the exact day and minutes of the Gendarmerie raid.
I mean, you may be right. It is definitely kind of sus. It's just very disappointing you would even entertain the idea. This kind of accusation is unheard of. It's nonsense. If I were you, I wouldn't believe a word Mr. Lancia says, Mr. President.
Heed my word, Mr. President. When dealing with these situations, you need to always look at who gets what out of it.
I won't stand idle by these utterly ridiculous and baseless accusations. I don't have time for this. What is your decision? Yeah, there will be no change related to Gendarmerie operations. You're making a mistake.
Thank you for protecting the structure and authority of the Ministry of Defense.
Let's see, which choice makes more sense here? Thinking probably make more sense to just yeah, it probably makes sense just tell them to focus on the bigger issues here. There are bigger issues at hand that need attention. Focus on them instead of each other. We'll do our best, right, Mr. Lancia?
That's right, Miss Graf.
I left the room to attend my next scheduled meeting. Brilliant. Okay. So country overview was updated, but there's no updates. So, okay, whatever, that's fine. Alright, back to Holstar, look at a couple of reports here. I have an NFP investigation report. The Secret State places continue its investigation of the National Front Party. A few leads have been uncovered revealing high-ranking party officials' ties to the Bernard Circus assassination. These will be duly followed upon. Brilliant. And the PFJP investigation. Secret State Police is continuing its investigation of the People's Freedom and Justice Party. So far, no concrete evidence has been found against the party's highest-ranking officials, though some further down the ranks may have ties to the oligarchs that have yet to be fully uncovered. Also not a shocker. Alright. Briefing on the current healthcare situation. I had a meeting scheduled with Pascal to receive the annual healthcare report. He arrived at my office with stacks of papers underneath both arms. Mr. President, he put the mountain of papers at my desk. It made a loud thud sound. I know this seems like a lot. Reviewing it shouldn't take more than a day. He measured the pile again. Or maybe two. Yeah, just great. Great, Pascal. Thanks, I appreciate it. They contain very important information about the status of our healthcare. Salaries, spendings, hospital reports, whatever you like. We can go through this together. Can't you just summarize, brah? Of course. I breathed a sigh of relief as he put on his reading glasses, looked at the document he was holding. So, we have concluded our report for the year. Thanks to the allocated funds, we've improved the healthcare in the country overall. I've used resources to begin a comprehensive health reform. We have more patients treated, less waiting times, and higher treatment quality than the years before. Go with that one. Good. Under my presidency, I would source people have the best health service they can get. There can't be a more valiant aim. The foundations we laid so far will influence the years to come. We are certainly on the right path to challenge even less PR Voxen in the matter, but we are not there yet. However, give a few more years, we might even surpass them. You can't simply follow the footsteps of other nations. I agree. We need to pave our own path to better healthcare for our citizens. Moving on. Pascal skimmed the rest of the document before putting it down. The investments we poured into our rural health facilities has paid off greatly. The quality of care increased due to the upgraded equipment, and we are able to hire more healthcare staff. Excellent. People of the countryside deserve better health services. Yes, they have been neglected for a long time due to political reasons. Not anymore. All these efforts have resulted in a clear increase of quality in health services provided to our citizens. He cleared his throat. Now that I've given you the short summary, there's a very important matter to discuss. Leaning over to grab his briefcase, he pulled out a tan-colored package. The package was stamped with big red letters that read, Confidential. Pascal opened the package and brought out a few documents. He handed them over to me. I took the documents from his hand. His report from the Ministry of Health. Each page had a stamp on it that read, For President's Eyes Only. The report was titled Polio Outbreak in Bergia. How bad is it? For now, it seems to be under control. We have put a few villages under quarantine. The total number of infected are currently 1,467. Death tolls at 23 so far. If we have more outbreaks, the results will be terrible. Thankfully, we have received the additional funding to our healthcare. This should be enough to curb the infection ratio, although I'm afraid even that might not be enough. This is a very serious matter, Mr. President. Lives of all citizens are at stake. Well, what can we do about it? We have done our research. There is a cure. A vaccination was recently invented in the United Kingdom by a doctor, and the formula has been made available for free in the entire world. No matter what people think about the United Kingdom, if the same thing happened in Akazi, we would be paying the price for it. Thanks to the very good decision made by you to increase the funding to our healthcare, we have the capability to produce this vaccine locally. But I'm afraid simply having the vaccines won't help. We need to make sure they're administered. We need to implement a nationwide mandatory polio vaccination policy. With your order, I can immediately get to work to ensure we're doing whatever it takes. This might seem excessive, however, it is absolutely necessary. Okay, am I supposed to do this? I didn't see anything in the guide, but let me check the second part here real quick. Well, I don't see anything in the guide, so let's do it, because we need to focus on good healthcare anyway, so it makes sense. Whatever it takes to protect Swordland, do it. Excellent. Now, if you excuse me, I would must get to work immediately. He got up from his seat. Thank you for your time, Mr. President. Left my office, leave me alone with a whole lot of paperwork to go through. Alright, so we got a country overview. Yeah, welfare, mandatory vaccination, and epidemic prevented. So yeah. Fairly certain that was the right move. Wow, still no newspapers. That's interesting. Alright. Let's see here. Well, let's take a look at these reports here first. Miss Edith Agnock, the government decision today has set us back to the Dark Age. Ministry of Economics, Commerce, and Energy, Mr. Simon Hole, is moving rapidly to secure government control over the central bank by preparing necessary paperwork and personnel replacement. Even though there is some resistance and pushback from the current chairwoman, Miss Edith Agnock, and the Ministry of Interior, Miss Lilia Scrap, has helped smoothen our process. Okay. Oh, right. We decided to decentralize the bank. I remember that. Alright. SRTV opened. The new Supreme Council of Swordfish Radio and Television is open in Holster to begin its separations. The newly formed expert media team was housed at the Ministry of Interior during the construction and cooperated with Minister Groff. Council experts declare that in the coming months there will be 19 organizational audits of up to 84 organizations reviewed by the end of the next year. Alright, and the Fair Trade Commission established. The Fair Trade Commission is open and holds door today and began coordinating with the Central Bank, National Business Council, and the Ministry of Economy to get analysis of competition issues and potential regulation legislation. The effort to bring fairness to trade and commerce in Swordland is led by a visionary small business owner who sued Heart of Swordland in an unfair competition bid and won in court. Interesting, okay. Let's see, let's go and take a look at the Less Smoke bill first here. So, the Assembly passes an amendment to the tax bill of 1944 in order to increase tax revenue and reduce the excessive amount of tobacco consumption in the general populace. Section 1 of the TB of 44, which is imposed 10% tax on all tobacco packages, will be increased to 30% on all tobacco products sold in the country. Section 2 will protect local industries by giving them a full tax exemption if the products are destined for export to other countries. Alright, and the guide says to veto that because it reduces public opinion. So, we'll do that. Alright, and then healthcare spending. The Ministry of Health can start new programs. Alright, let's see. The guide, I think, said just do literally whatever I feel like here. Yeah. Doesn't really look like it matters. Yeah, it just says create a well-funded healthcare system, so that doesn't seem to make a difference. So, there's a significant budget left in the Ministry of Health we could spend on several different programs in order to improve healthcare in Swordland further. Funds could be used to create a medical scholarship, build a state-of-the-art medical school, give free eye tests, or dental care. Let's see, what does sound good? Not really sure what sounds good. A medical scholarship might be good. Help us get more doctors. The medical school would help us get better doctors. But the free eye test and dental care might help boost our popular opinion, just because obviously we're helping people out. Let's see. I'm not really sure here. Let's go and start, yeah, let's do the scholarship. Alright, and we got a green thing here for scholarships for health education. So that's pretty decent. Alright, from the Whole Sword Post here, we finally got a newspaper. New medical scholarship program. The Ministry of Health announced a new medical scholarship program created with the assistance of the President to give opportunities for exceptional students at the best medical schools. The program will raise thousands of talented doctors, nurses, and dentists to the workforce in the future. The massive funds set aside was highly praised by Minister Pascal Beniwal. Fantastic. Alright. And we want to go to the Ashraf anniversary. The Remembrance Rally of the Ashraf anniversary is about to begin in Suzerain. The British movement is holding their largest rally yet to display their demands and strength. The administration can get Suzerain to support the event with or without an armored convoy, or not attend it at all. Let's go ahead and commit to attending without the armored convoy. Alright, and that looks like that is our next thing. But I think I'm going to go ahead and call it good for today right here. So we'll get back to that next time. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.